Have you ever ended a day wondering where did all the time go? You worked all day, but you feel like you've done nothing? I've been there, and I know that's overwhelming. So today, I'm going to give you the tools to change it. There's days where I sit at my desk overwhelmed by all the things I have to do, only to get to the end of the day and realize I haven't done anything. It's like running on a treadmill where you have lots of motion, but you're not getting anywhere. Today, I'm going to share 5 tips that worked for me, and I promise they'll work for you. Now, let's start with the first tip, blocking out time. All right, I want you to imagine you're on a date with someone you're really into. This is the kind of person who makes your heart race. Now, would you let things interfere with that date? Of course you wouldn't. You would tell all your friends you're unavailable for those 2 hours. And during those 2 hours, you would not be looking at your phone. You'd be giving that person your full attention. Why? Because you care about that person and you care about the outcome. So then why don't you block out time for your goals and your dreams? Is it because you don't care about the outcome? Of course not. It's a matter of discipline. I've learned this the hard way. A few years ago, I found myself drowning in tasks, reading emails, fielding calls, managing my team, trying to grow my business, all doing it at the same time. And I felt like I was constantly busy every second of the day. But at the end of the day, I'd sit there and think, what did I actually do? It felt like I was spinning plates, and every time I turned to one, another one would start wobbling. I was exhausted, and you know what? I didn't have anything to show for it. I convinced myself that I was being productive because I was always doing something. But deep down, I knew the truth. I wasn't giving the full attention to anything. I'd start working on one thing and my phone would buzz, or an email or a notification. Before I knew it, I was doing something completely different than what I started. It's almost like quicksand, right? No real progress. One day, after another chaotic, unproductive day, I hit my breaking point and I realized I need to change. That's when I decided to do something radical, right? Instead of winging it or reacting to whatever comes up, I sat down every evening and wrote a plan for the next day. I blocked out time for the most important task, and I treat those blocks as something that's non-negotiable. And guess what? Everything changed. Suddenly, I wasn't busy, I was productive, and my to-do list actually started shrinking for the first time ever. I was in control of my day. The day wasn't in control of me, right? If something I didn't need was for the task at hand, it stayed closed. I stopped letting notifications, emails, or random thoughts dictate my attention. And it wasn't easy at first. I had to fight the urge to check my phone or bounce between tasks. But with each passing day, it got easier as I got better. The more I respected those time blocks, the more productive and less stressed I felt. So here's the rule I live by now. When it's time to work, I work like my dreams are important, because they do. Distractions are thieves that steal your potential, one phone notification at a time. And by blocking out these things, you send a powerful message to yourself that your goals matter. And with that level of focus and intentionality, there's nothing you can't accomplish. Let's move to tip 2, the Pomodoro method. A good friend, Brandon Gaudin, taught me this. This one's a game changer. The concept is simple. You set a timer for 25 minutes and you commit to working on one task without interruptions. If you are interrupted, you stop that timer. I remember the first time I tried it, I thought 25 minutes, easy. But within 5 minutes, I found myself checking my phone, the timer would stop. I'd reset it and start work again. It took me 3 tries to complete one 25-minute session that actually took me 3 hours. That'll reveal to you how much time you're actually spending on the task, because you can believe you're spending 25 minutes on something, when in reality, you just spent 25 minutes doing a bunch of nonsense. So the next time you get distracted by a squirrel outside or a barking dog or someone distracting you, you say, not today, squirrel, right? And you continue that task. You can go squirrel watching later. After this, let's talk about decluttering your environment. How important is it for your environment to be clean, your desk to be clean? Now imagine your desk is piled high with papers, your email inbox is full, there's a half-eaten sandwich from yesterday sitting next to your laptop. How can you focus in that type of chaos? Clutter creates stress whether we realize it or not. I once worked with someone who swore he couldn't get anything done, and when I visited his space, the problem was obvious. It looked like a tornado had gone through it. We spent some time clearing off the desk, organizing files, setting up a system. In the next week, guess what? More productive. Take 10 minutes at the start of each day to tidy up. Trust me, it's worth it. Now, the fourth tip is prioritizing ruthlessly. Not every task is created equal. Some will move the needle in your business while others are just noise. Let me share a story. A few months ago, I was working with a client who had a to-do list a mile long, spending days putting out fires. Those are the big problems, right? I asked her to list the 3 most important things she needed to do that week, and though she resisted because everything's important, right? But once she focused on those things, everything started to change. Here's how you can apply this. Each morning, or better yet, the night before, identify your top 3 things you have to do the next day. These should be the tasks that have the biggest impact on your life or your business. Tackle them first thing in the morning before the chaos of the day takes over. It's easy, but it works. Lastly, let's talk about mastering the art of saying no. We're all guilty of this, right? So this is probably the most powerful tip of all. Let me share you an example. Early in my career, early in my life, I said yes to everything because people pleaser, right? Networking events, side projects, you name it. I thought I was being productive, but in reality, I was spreading myself thin until one day I decided that I was going to start saying no. I was less stressed, more focused, and more effective. Here's a quick script you can use when someone asks you to do something that doesn't align with your goals. Say, I'd love to help, but I can't commit right now. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Guard your time like it's the most valuable resource you have, because it is. So there you have it. Block out your time, use the Pomodoro method, declutter your environment, prioritize ruthlessly, and master the art of saying no. Now, these 5 tips aren't just ideas. They're proven strategies that will help you focus and achieve your goals. The question is, are you willing to put them into action? Your business, your future. Let's make it happen.